it has to wait for a financial transaction to happen before someone gets medical attention, we have seen a lot of lives have been lost because of that. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, just the re-emphasize on that is very important. Secondly, Honorable Speaker, is the issue of persons who are detained, dead bodies that are detained. Because, Honorable Speaker, and as someone else has alluded to it, a dead body has no value. You cannot take it and go and sell. Even if you want to harvest organs, organs are harvested prior, not before life is completely lost. So these dead bodies have no value. But also, Honorable Speaker, the fact that we are criminalizing this is even more important, because if you look at the legislations that are in some of the countries like South Africa, the United States, in India, the legislations are very specific in terms of criminalizing the offense of any person in charge of a public health facility. And I like the use of the word a person in charge, because the buck stops with the leadership of that particular health facility. He or she must ensure that the people who are working in that medical facility are not undermining this law, because he remembers that he or she will be the one who will be charged. So this is a very important aspect, and it also just gives strength to the section 137 of the Penal Code, which hinders the declining of providing dead bodies for that particular case. Honorable Speaker, also the aspect of having alternative payment plans. I think that's very important, and Honorable Mukunji also alluded to this, so that we also don't have situations where people are taking advantage of this particular law, whose main aim is to restore dignity. But having a payment arrangement for people who do not have the means of making the payment right then and then is very important, so that people remember that at the end of the day, for the medical facilities and services that were provided, payment still has to be made, because these public service centers and health facilities also still need to run. So that's a very important aspect to avoid anyone who is trying to take advantage. And Honorable Speaker, if you look at the very many cases that we have had in our country of families where people have not been able to get the dead bodies of their loved ones for as long as even 20 years, it's very unfair. They don't even get to have an opportunity of a closure to give their beloved people a dignified burial, because they were not able to raise the medical fund. It's a very unfair aspect, and so this actually really helps the families, because for us in the African society, giving our loved ones a befitting farewell is a very important aspect of life in terms of its end and continuity of those ones who are still alive, for them to be able to have the comfort that they did give their dead person a befitting farewell. The other aspect also, Honorable Speaker, is the mothers with newborns. You find a mother with a newborn has been detained in hospital for long because you're not able to pay for that particular child. And actually, Honorable Speaker, there's no financial sense in it, because the more you're detained in hospital, the more you continue accruing the bills. In essence, this is someone who was not even able to pay those bills, and then you're adding to them another load. It does not make any financial sense. You'd rather allow the person to be released and then have a proper payment arrangement so that they can be able to continue with life outside there. Because you can imagine, Honorable Speaker, what it does to a newborn child, even if they're not able to speak or defend themselves, the kind of life that they're just in the hospital bed, they've not been able to go and stay at home. For even the mother who has just had that child, and they're not even able to leave the hospital, despite the fact that they do not have any medical issues with them, that they're just seated in a medical facility because they're not able to pay these particular fees. So, Honorable Speaker, I just want again to retaliate, and especially in terms of what the bill is speaking to, because the bill is very specific in terms of public health facilities, and number two, the aspects of criminalizing any offenders to this particular bill. I think those are two very important aspects to this particular amendment, and therefore